フルカウンター
Alright lads, welcome back to the Grand Cross video, and today we have a second episode of 10 more must-have units that Grand Cross has skipped. This is the second episode like I just said, so if you go ahead and comment down below, oh what about this character, you may want to go ahead and watch the other one and see if I do cover them in that one. For example, the obvious one is the Enduro forms and also Wheelchair Gowther, which we covered in the last episode, but now we have 10 more characters, actually 11, maybe like 15, 16, 17, because we're going to put all of them together. But yeah, we're just going to go for it. So yeah, if you are new, consider subscribing, and as well, we are going to exclude Cusack because he's very new to the story mode, and he has been data man to be coming very, very soon, and he's kind of a given, right? So that's why we're not going to put him on the list. But yeah, we're just going to go through my top 11 basically, because I kind of wrote down 11, and let's jump into 10 more units that Grand Cross has. So I do feel a little bit unwell, or maybe it's the hay fever, I'm not too sure, so I may sound a little bit different, but yeah, just ignore that. Okay, so to catch you up to where we are in the story mode right now in JPE, they've just shown Demon Chandler, Bartra's just gone to Purgatory, and Melascula has confronted Estarossa and also Zeldris. Nothing major has been shown apart from Demon Chandler, who I'll get to later on. But yeah, that's where we are in the story mode right now. Despite having Purgatory Bun and also Excalibur Arthur, those are characters that are further ahead in the story mode, so we're not going to really count up to those, because then we would count, you know, Ludicia, Margaret, and many characters that kind of go into the new season. So right now, we're just going to go up to that point of the story mode. But what we're going to do for number 11, we're going to go back all the way to season 1, and we are going to be saying we're going to skip Big Gowther. So this is the massive armor Gowther that had been data mined, or possibly could come from a podcast leak. And yeah, they could either do one or two for this character. One, do Dale, because it is is it Dale? I think it's Gila's dad, right? Or they could do Big Gowther. Doesn't really matter too much. Obviously, the problem with this character, if it is obviously a Big Gowther, this would mean you can't use other ghosts with him, so he could be one of our first DPS Gowthers. Despite Green Gowther can be a DPS himself, you don't, I mean an actual big DPS Gowther, or maybe even a tank Gowther, which once again, Green Gowther already is a kind of a tank character. They kind of ruined Gowthers already, so it's going to be very hard to get him, which is why they probably had to add him, because, well, you know, get another Gowther that it doesn't have rank up is probably an instant F tier. Okay, coming at number 10, we do have Denzel. But you're probably thinking, wait, hang on. Denzel's already a unit. We got him for the free banner. You're not wrong. And this is Goddess Denzel, yes. So we had Nerabasta on the last list from episode 1. But now we're in Denzel and, I guess, Nerabasta combined together to get Goddess Denzel. And yeah, I mean, why not, right? It's another Goddess Clan member you can add to the roster. Another cool passive you could do. And they could do an interesting kit. However, you know, it doesn't end the greatest for him. So big rip to Denzel, boys. Okay, number 9, this one is a little bit tricky to add to the game, which is why they haven't done it, but we have seen an actual way of them to add it to the game, and that's for an ultimate. So we do have Snake Melascula. Now, obviously, this is a massive boss reverse in the story mode during the actual Escanor versus Melascula fight, and yeah, you can tell for obvious reasons why this character's not in the game, because she's massive. I mean, Giants are already big in the game. I think they could shrink her down a little bit and maybe, like, you know, they could definitely work it out if you really want to do it. But we have seen in the new final boss Melascula that they have done a way of doing it, sort of, you know, adjust this a little bit by adding Melascula as a character, but her ultimate does transform to a snake, but then de-transforms afterwards. Kind of how like Galan's critical overdrive does it. But yeah, I would love to see a Melascula, you know, a new one. It would be pretty sick. But you know what? If you can't get the big one, why not add the small one? It's cute enough. Okay, coming at number 8, like I did say, this is kind of a little bit of a stretch here, but we do have Bartra, which is the actual king of Leonis, so obviously Elizabeth's dad, and yeah, I mean, why not? We haven't really seen a fight, so, I mean, we've got Deldry and other, like, unknown characters, really, like Nanashi, which fair enough, you know, probably has more importance than Bartra, but, you know, yes, always could do it, just add a kit, really. The passive could be kind of nice, where you can, like, buff up humans, because he is the king of Leonis, or maybe even buff up the Leonis family line, who knows what they could do, but if they do decide to add this character, I'm sure he would have. Nah, you know, he'll probably be filler, lads. I'm not gonna lie to you. This guy will probably be a free character, so I mean, if they add him, no one really cares, probably. Okay, so next we do have Peronia. So you're probably wondering, who the hell is that? This is the new demon that does show up in the newest chapter, and the reason why I'm putting her on the list is because she's most likely gonna get skipped. Now, obviously, you could add her, you never know, but she's such an irrelevant character, really, that Grand Cross has kind of already skipped her. She doesn't really do anything apart from just appear out of nowhere, really. She's such a weird character, but to be fair, she does look kind of cool if you're really into lollies, but she's also a demon, and you know, Assault Melee could always use more demons in the team, and whatever they decide to do, she could always give her an actual cool passive, and yeah, to be fair, I think her outfit could be pretty sick, so I wouldn't mind the character to do add her.
しゃべってんだ。
Okay, so next we do have Peronia. So you're probably wondering, who the hell is that? This is the new demon that does show up in the newest chapter, and the reason why I'm putting her on the list is because she's most likely going to get skipped. Now, obviously, you could add her, you never know, but she's such an irrelevant character, really, that Grand Cross has kind of already skipped her. She doesn't really do anything apart from just Okay, coming number 6, we have a joint 3-6 spot here. We have Veronica, Margaret, and Nadja. Now, the reason why I added all these 3 together, because you're kind of like the princesses almost. You have, I think it's Bartra's sister, then obviously the Bartra's daughters, right? Margaret and Veronica. Obviously, Margaret is going to come later on in the future when we do get Laduciel Margaret or Goddess Margaret. And that makes sense why you want to wait to add her to the game. But you know what? There's no reason why Margaret herself couldn't be an actual SR with cool passive just to, you know, support something in the game. Veronica, we've seen multiple times, who actually does kind of fight a little bit. She's got a sword, and also in the new Stranger Things trailer and storyline, really, she was kind of a boss almost. So they could have done a perfect chance to add her there, even as an SR. And something I want to point out that could happen is the fact that she does have that little necklace that does trap people inside of the actual necklace. So this could be a way of introducing another character with the actual expel feature, so not just limited to Ozzy and Hawk, who are exclusive characters. They could like do an SR version or even an SSR version of this character and have a really good ultimate where you trap them in. Could work out pretty well. Why not? Nadja, once again, doesn't really do too much, but this could be some sort of Gowther buffer. And to be fair, like, Nadja's backstory and like Gowther's backstory really does hurt a little bit. Like, they, you know, the creator of 7 years really does know how to write a backstory. And yeah, tragic what happened. And yeah, I kind of love the kind of could be like I left a little bit, where she does, if she moves too much or use too many skills, she might actually like lower her damage a bit. I don't know. Once again, it could be an SR with an actual cool passive to where you can use it certain raid bosses or something. Okay, for number 5, we are going back 3,000 years to when Drool and Gluxinger does actually, or I guess Dianin King does encounter the first commandment of piety, and that is Calmadios, I think they say his name. This is one of like the 6-arm, 4-arm demons that Drool and Gluxinger do fight, and yeah, he could, you know, he's already in game, he's actually a boss fight. To be fair, he is kind of massive, so I think if he was to come to game, he would be a little bit smaller. That's typically how they do it, like how they did with Fraugen, with his actual base model. The purple guy is actually quite massive. That's because he's a boss fight, so when he does come he may be a little bit smaller. Once again, kind of a relevant character, but you know, he is another demon, and like I said, a Somali could always use more support for demons. And you know what, why not? It's another commandment. You can definitely mix around with some cool interesting mechanics, and he does have an ultimate and card art in game, I believe, if I remember properly from the actual boss fight. So yeah, very way to skip them. I mean, they could just throw him in for another like filler banner, really, just like, you know, if they release Cusack, they could also release this character alongside him just to spice up the banner a little bit, and yeah, be like an off week really. Okay, coming into number 4, and this one was actually the most requested one alongside number 1, where in my last video. So we have Zhivago. So I actually completely forgot about this guy. I'm probably net marble too, but this is the Beowulf, or like the actual, could be a new race, but probably unknown, just to, you know, make unknowns a lot better. But this is Barnes' dad or stepdad. Honestly, when I went back and watched it and you can see the footage in the background, I started tearing up. This background, like the story behind these two, hit a little bit different. Now, obviously, they could do a few things with this character, make him human, then transform to his beast form as like a transform character, or kind of do that for its ultimate. But I think, you know what, might as well just make him his full beast form, really. Once again, not the most popular character, but when I did see people comment it, and I actually even checked the Reddits at one point, this is a character a lot of people want. And you know what, it's a season 1 character, they could have added him, and maybe we'll get him in a few years. Okay, so next is actually one that I meant to include in the last video, but I somehow forgot it. Same for number 1, really. And that is the movie characters, yes. Because, well, when we actually got the movie, we only got Elette and also Bellion. And Bellion, by the way, it was only his first form. He actually does transform later on as like a corrupt demon. So, considering we're getting also a new movie that's probably going to get adapted into the story of 70S Grand Cross in maybe a few months' time, we still not even scratched the surface of what the actual Prisoner Sky event was, really. We still have to get all the demons, which, once again, more demons, you can't really complain, really. And also, we could even get various different versions of the sins. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say here, a lot of we get from the movie. We could also get Salad, who may have been leaked to actually be coming somewhat soon. I have to wait and see how that works out. But yeah, more movie characters we could still get, and that is kind of in for number 3. So number 2, we're moving into Demon Chandler. Now I know what you're thinking, he's just showing up in the story mode. They may still add him, but if you actually look at what he looks like in game, you can kind of tell they skipped him. Not only does he not say any real voice lines, he just kind of grunts a little bit, which that could be part of the character. But but him in his demon form doesn't stop him from speaking. So I think if they were to add him as an actual character, that itself would have been ready to go. He also has no actual ultimate, where if you look at the other Chandler before he actually came, he had his actual all effects in game. Granted, didn't show his actual card arts, but he had the ultimate, he had the actual voice lines, and you can tell this character is ready to go, where this one doesn't look ready. Even his actual animation, they're kind of clipping through the floor, which I'm sure they'll fix, and it looks a little bit chunky for just a boss fight. But yeah, I'm not too upset really, because although this is my most wanted character in the game probably, the longer I wait, the better he's gonna be. Look how good Purgatory Barn is, and if we have to wait, you know, maybe like another few months to get Demon Chandler, he's gonna be infinitely better than he would be if he released now. Well, I guess then than now, right? So I'd rather actually wait that. Plus, I'm kind of broke. Okay, ending it on number 1. This is a character, once again, kind of inspired the first part of the, I guess, the video, the first episode, but I forgot to add her. And now he's grayroad. Yes, the meme is still alive. She is, yeah, it's a she, by the way. She actually has a model in game, has an ultimate animation and card arts, even actual, like, passive and stuff. It's very weird they haven't added her to the game yet. Now, once again, she has been leaked to be coming somewhat soon, and to be fair, I do believe Regions, but Regions has been wrong, or not wrong, but they have changed it, so you never know when they are going to actually add the character. And yeah, I'm expecting this character to come somewhat in necessarily the next few months. But yeah, this I believe is the last main commandment to be added. And yeah, I can't believe I've forgotten the last one. And even now still, like, I was surprised. I forgot how she looked in game, but she actually does look pretty sick, and I actually can't wait to get her. Hopefully she's actually good and hopefully worth the wait. I know she's kind of irrelevant a little bit because compared to the other commandments, but she does have a cool gimmick really. And the pass, I mean, you can see the passives and what she does, but I'm sure they'll change because these like just story mode stuff. But yeah, boys, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. So if you think I missed anyone, do leave a comment and maybe I'll do a part 3. But I not that I struggled a little bit, but it was very hard to try and find 10 more characters or the characters that I did pick for this episode. So maybe I won't do a part 3 for maybe another year or so. But you know, Grand Cross is adding the characters unless they are very like irrelevant, they may not get added, but we'll see how it works out. But yeah, make sure to watch episode 1 if you haven't, because well, I do go through other 10 characters like the Enduro Forms and the Wheelchair Gowther, so don't be commenting, you know, where's Wheelchair Gowther? I already covered him. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. This was quite fun to make and also edit, so yeah, thank you for watching, and peace.